Let's talk about that secret little thrill you get when plans get canceled. You know, that wave of relief from an empty calendar and what it really says about the way you're wired.
Oh, you know the feeling. The text comes in, "Hey, so sorry, can't make it tonight." And you're supposed to feel bummed out, right? But instead, whoosh, it's like a heavy weight just lifts right off your chest. It's such a common, very human moment.
But then, almost immediately, that relief gets followed by a little twinge of guilt, doesn't it? That quiet voice in your head starts up asking, am I lazy? Am I antisocial? Seriously, what is wrong with me for feeling this happy about this?
Okay, let's just get this out of the way right now. The short answer? Absolutely nothing. Nothing is wrong with you. That feeling is not some kind of character flaw, and trust me, you are not the only one feeling it. See? That relief? It's not really about not wanting to see your friends. It's a real, genuine physiological response. The best way to think about it is like your nervous system finally getting to exhale after holding its breath all day. So, why on earth were we taught to be ashamed of it?
Let's dive into that, because our culture has this quiet but persistent way of treating the need for solitude like it's some kind of symptom, something that needs to be fixed.
You know, we see someone who prefers their own company and we just jump to all these conclusions. We think, oh, it must be a wound from their past, or they must have social anxiety, or maybe it's the result of trauma or just some kind of personal shortcoming. We've written this social script where being on and present all the time equals being healthy.
So to make this feel real, let's picture someone. We'll call her Maya. Maya's in her late 20s, she's got a great job, and she genuinely, truly loves the people in her life. But whenever a big group event shows up on our calendar, she just feels this slow, creeping dread.
And this right here is the heart of the conflict for so many people. Maya goes to the party anyway, because not going feels like a failure. She gets home and she's just wiped out, completely exhausted. And she assumes it's because she's just not trying hard enough to be normal. It just never even occurs to her that her baseline might simply be different.
Okay, so let's get into the science of this for a second, because the explanation isn't really about Maya's personality. It's about her neurology. It's about how she's wired. Now get this. Research from the psychologist Elaine Aron found that a pretty significant chunk of the population, we're talking up to 1 in 5 people, is basically built this way. That's a lot of us. And this wiring is often described by this term, a highly sensitive person, or HSP. Now, all this means is that their nervous systems are built to take in and process all kinds of information, sights, sounds, other people's emotions, way more deeply than the average person. And this distinction right here is absolutely critical. This is not about processing things more intensely. It's not about being fragile or overly emotional. It's about processing more deeply. Their brains are literally doing more work with the exact same amount of social input. It's like one person is running a single app and the other is running 20 in the background.
So when someone like Maya needs a couple of days to recover from a weekend trip, she's not being difficult or antisocial. She is simply managing her energy. Her system genuinely spent more resources during that trip than the person sitting right next to her. For her, it's a biological necessity.
But this brings us to a really important point. Because, you see, not all time spent alone is created equal. There's a massive difference between choosing solitude and having it forced on you.
Look, humans are absolutely 100% wired for connection. Decades of research show us that loneliness can feel like actual physical pain to our brains. But, and this is a big but, needing connection is not the same thing as needing constant social engagement. Those two ideas are not even in the same ballpark. Just look at this contrast. Chosen solitude is restorative. It's when you voluntarily step back to recharge your batteries, and it leads to incredible self-reflection. Forced isolation, on the other hand, is corrosive. It's a punishment. It triggers our brain's threat response, and it genuinely hurts. For some reason, as a society, we got confused and started treating them like they're the same thing.
So, with all that in mind, it's time to turn inward and ask ourselves a really important question. When we seek out that alone time, what are we actually doing with it? I mean, when it's practiced in a healthy way, solitude is just incredibly powerful. It's where you finally get to access your inner life. It's the space where you process the emotions you were just too busy to feel during the week. It's where you develop what's called cognitive independence. That's the ability to know what you think before a room full of people influences you.
But, and we have to be really honest with ourselves here, sometimes solitude isn't about recharging at all.
Sometimes it's about retreating. It can become this cozy little hiding place, a really comfortable way to avoid difficult feelings or, confrontations that we probably need to have.
So here's the diagnostic question. It's the one you can ask yourself. After that weekend alone, do you come out of it feeling restored, more present, and ready to engage with the world again? Or do you just feel kind of flat, a little numb, maybe even more disconnected than before? Your answer tells you everything you need to know about whether you're recharging or retreating.
And all of this brings us to the final, and honestly, the most important takeaway. It's about learning to listen to this need for what it really truly is. This is not a simple binary. Calling this preference a flaw is obviously damaging, we know that. But honestly, calling it a superpower is just as reductive and kind of misses the point. The truth is so much simpler and way more empowering. It's just a signal. That's it. It's your own system telling you exactly what it needs to function at its best.
And let's be real for a second. In our modern world, a world that pretty much profits from our constant distraction, a world that has literally engineered platforms to make quiet stillness feel unbearable, intentionally choosing to be alone with your own thoughts is a deeply, radically countercultural act.
So here's the bottom line. The need for solitude isn't the problem. The only real mistake is spending years and years defending that preference, or hiding it, or, and this is the worst, apologizing for it. So much so that you never actually get the benefit of it. Don't let that be your story.